My name's Robyn and I'm 47 years old. I live in Inverness. I was bleeding between periods, so I went for a smear and that came back as changes. So come back in 3 months' time. So I went back in 3 months' time and they did another smear and it was the most painful thing I've had. I've never had anything like that. The nurse knew immediately there was something wrong. They then sent me for a colposcopy. And the gynecologist said to me, she said, "I'm really sorry." She said, "But there are cancerous cells there. We're going to have to do a LETS where they cut it out." Initially I was told after the LETS it was stage 1 and I would get a hysterectomy. They sent me for an MRI scan. They said, no, it's actually stage 2, 2B. It's 4 centimetre. And I would have to have chemotherapy, radiotherapy and brachytherapy. And I wouldn't be getting the hysterectomy. And I did have to ask, why not, because all of a sudden the hysterectomy seemed like quite a good idea. I thought that'd be great, just get it out, just get rid of it. And she explained that she would have to cut this huge amount of margins. I guess my partner Aidan was incredibly positive and he was very determined for me that we were gonna kick it into next week. When I was diagnosed with stage 1, so the second meeting, there was a nurse. I knew that there was something up because she was sitting there too and she had Macmillan on her badge. I thought, okay, well that's a dead giveaway. Initially I was actually quite annoyed that she was there because it meant that I had cancer. It was really clear, it was in my face and I didn't like that. She was at the second meeting when I was diagnosed with stage 2. She was absolutely brilliant. She just said all the right things. I continued to see her all the way through my treatment. I remember the word chemotherapy. And I remember radiotherapy in my head. I could deal with chemotherapy, was a terrifying word. First question, I have lots of hair. Am I going to lose my hair? That was the only thing that I actually remember asking or hearing the answer to. And no, I wasn't going to lose my hair, which is great. Not from my head anyway. I guess the impact of cervical cancer at all on your children can be quite overwhelming. I was very open with both of them. Douglas, my son, is 23, so I could be a lot more open with him. My daughter asked 2 questions when I told her I was diagnosed. Are you going to die? And I said, no, not quite yet. And can I catch it? I said, no, you're okay. She found it quite difficult at times. Her primary school, they were brilliant. They were a phenomenal support for her. Partner works away all the time. He's away for months on end. So it was a case of getting her to school, then I would go to work, then I would go and get my radiotherapy, and then I would come home, and then she would come home from school, and I would try and look after her. Every Wednesday when I had chemo, she would get very, very upset. It would be quite a traumatic day. Chemotherapy, it was just the worst thing ever. I would feel really, really sick. They put me on all sorts of drugs to try and stop me from feeling so sick. Just everything was horrible about it. Coming to the hospital for brachytherapy was a bit of a haul because I had to go to Aberdeen, which is 2.5 hours away. So that was a bit of stress in itself. They knock you out to get the tubes in. But I would say actually the majority of it was fine. They give you painkillers. It was never sore. It was just a bit uncomfortable. I decided I would just get on with it. I finished all my treatment on the 8th of January. They have told me that I will go and see a gynecologist in 6 weeks' time. I will see them every 3 months for the first year. If they think I'm going on okay, they will put that to every 4 months for the second year, and then it'll be yearly for 5 years. I found that piece of information quite overwhelming because you can't just walk away from it. It's in your face every 3 months. You become incredibly popular when you have cancer. Everybody wants to help, and I really let people do that, and it was a brilliant thing to do. It helped me immensely. It helped my family. It helped my children.